Hello and welcome to Batcast 66. It's the podcast where we watch every single episode of the 1966 Batman television show and talk about it. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But for those who don't remember, my name's Kendall.
And I'm Scott.
Today we are finally finishing up this introductory King Tut story with Batman episode 28, The Pharaoh's in a Rut.
Yeah. More like Batcat 66 has been in a rut.
Yeah. But we're back, baby. At least for now. We'll see
Yeah.
how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, we just finished it like seconds ago.
Seconds ago. This is the first episode of the podcast that we've recorded in the same room, right?
Yeah, I guess we should let people know we usually record this, over the internet because we live in different states. But we're going to try to finish off this season. We got together and are going to try to watch and talk about all of the episodes, or at least as many as we can today. So if audio quality is a little different than normal or we have a different energy, that's just what that is.
King Tut. So I will say I'm so grateful for the recaps.
Yeah, because it's been a month or so since we watched this one.
Yes.
I forgot some details. But it's also interesting to see what they focus on. Like, they were really into Nefertiti.
Yeah, which makes sense for this show.
Yeah.
So yeah, last we left, Bruce Wayne was strapped to like a...
He was like, he's careening off the road on a gurney, going to go off a cliff.
Yeah, a 300-foot drop.
Yeah, I don't think that's something most people would be able to survive. But fortunately, Bruce Wayne's not most people.
Yeah, he is able to break free of his bonds and grab a...
Thank God there was just a bar there.
Yeah, there's just a bar. Well, I guess it's so
It's
like...
a construction-y thing, I guess. So people don't drive off.
Yeah, maybe so if you do walk to the edge of the cliff, you don't fall to your doom. Anyway, he grabs it and the gurney just goes flying.
I kind of wish it exploded when it got to the bottom.
I mean...
That would have been great.
Yeah.
There's a couple of stupid special effects things that if they did in this episode, they would have made no sense, but I would have really enjoyed them.
Yeah, they do miss the mark on some things I know you particularly enjoy.
Yeah.
After Bruce saves himself, we cut to King Tut HQ. And King Tut and his harem are just watching a demolition derby on TV.
Yeah. And he changes the channel and like Nefertiti's like, oh, go back to sports. I'm like, that's a sport?
I mean, I've never been to a demolition derby.
It didn't look like a demolition derby. It looked like old-timey cars were driving like a NASCAR track, and then there was an accident.
Oh. Well,
Yeah,
racing is a sport.
Yeah, but like it didn't look like race cars,
That's the way it was back in the 60s.
I guess,
dude.
all right.
I guess. I don't know. So yeah, King Tut turns on the news and they're talking about the abduction of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that's why he wants to hear them talk about that.
Yeah, he wants to gloat, I guess.
Yeah.
Commissioner Gordon is on TV saying he has a special guest to talk about this abduction. And it's Batman. Which I was kind of surprised. I guess I shouldn't have been.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say, why were you surprised by that? He survived and Bruce Wayne's Batman.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, oh, wasn't expecting you to be there. Batman says that he rescued Bruce Wayne, and King Tut doesn't believe it.
I mean, from a certain point of view, he did rescue Bruce Wayne.
That's true. He then tells the citizens of Gotham that he's going to Egypt to research an evil cult that seems to be plaguing the city.
Yeah, so, and obviously it's a ploy, because he mentions, like, the Library of Alexandria, which I don't think even exists anymore. But, obviously he's not really going to go to Egypt.
Yeah, just a ploy to get King Tut off his guard.
Yeah.
King Tut turns off the TV before Batman's done speaking, which I feel like is very foolish.
Oh, yeah. This is a very foolish character.
He learned so much from the, 10 seconds he was watching the news.
Exactly.
And he's like, all right, turn it off. But, dude.
Yeah.
Who knows what else he could have learned if he just left it on. Nefertiti, like every other henchwoman in this show.
Yeah, after seeing Batman on television, just like, oh my god, what a groovy babe.
He really turns me on, which, wow.
Yeah, that might have had a slightly more innocent connotation back then, I don't know.
King Tut imprisons her, which is a good move.
So he's got 5 or 6 babes surrounding him, a royal harem, and then he calls for 2 torturers, and he's got 2 goons already out. So I'm like, why do all of these people obey him? He's not really getting money or anything.
Maybe he just has a lot of money. I don't know.
He was a professor, so I assume probably not. But I mean, you could say the same thing about Joker and a lot of these other guys that have themed people, but at least they're in schemes to make money. He wants to be king of Gotham.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's something worth doing.
Yeah, and the Riddler keeps taking over other gangs, so I assume they were already doing their thing. I don't know, it's just
he does seem to have a much larger gang than
everyone else, and they're all bought into his gimmick.
Yeah, which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
But Nefertiti, she wasn't in it to win it.
No.
She's just hanging out. I guess what really ticks him off was Batman had called whoever was leading this cult mad.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 'Cause that makes me go crazy.
And he was like, how dare they call me mad? And Nefertiti was like, well, I mean you used to be a normal guy, and then you got hit on the head. And that really just
that's the end of that.
Yeah. So she's imprisoned and is going to be tortured.
Which, it's always great for children to learn about.
We cut to the Batcave, and Batman reveals that he wants to be kidnapped again in a way.
Yeah.
Maybe that's one of his kinks.
Yeah. I mean, they have a weird, life-size sex doll of Bruce Wayne, so
yeah,
ready to go.
Very realistic.
Because it's, obviously in production it's just Adam West laying down on the couch, but yeah, they come up with some ruse to get Aunt Harriet out of the house. So she goes away, but she sees Bruce Wayne sleeping on the couch, which is the doll, and she's like, oh, she thinks it's him. So yes, it works.
Yeah. So this doll of Bruce Wayne lies on the couch under a blanket, sleeping, in quotes. Batman and Robin are just hiding behind a bookcase.
Yeah. I mean, I guess for their plan, they do need to get in there and out of there real quick. But they're lucky a lot of things with the villains came to fruition for their plan to work here.
Yeah, I think they even say in the show, everything is going according to plan.
Yeah.
So, a police officer comes to Wayne Manor.
A very Irish police officer.
Oh, yeah. But not Chief O'Hara.
Yeah.
A different Irish police officer.
That used to be one of the only jobs Irish people could get.
Yeah, pretty wild. This police officer is really one of Tut's goons.
Oh, wait, before the police officer gets in, Alfred pops an Altoid in his mouth, and it's that's weird.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The officer gasses Alfred.
Coming out of the end of his nightstick. Well, I thought he was going to just club him in the back of the head with it. But, it's a good thing Alfred took, his anti-gas pill.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, and then
Bruce Wayne knows.
And then just get clobbered.
Because he was gassed last episode.
Yeah, but there's other ways to, like, knock out a dude.
That's true.
Yeah.
He then the fake police officer then gasses the Bruce Wayne dummy.
Covers him in the blanket. And then leaves. Yeah,
he steps outside to, like, get 2 more goons.
Yeah, so they can carry him.
Yeah. So while this goon steps out, Batman hides under the blanket. Like, they remove the Bruce Wayne doll.
Yeah, and then Batman gets under the blanket, and then they just wrap him up and carry him out.
Yeah.
Without checking.
So they think they have Bruce Wayne, which in a way they do.
Yeah, I mean, they did get Bruce Wayne, but here's the thing. All right, so obviously Batman's got a tracker on him. Is how they're gonna so they're gonna lead Robin in the police state's headquarters. They could have just put that on the Bruce Wayne dummy.
That's true.
Because they could have just snatched that up, and then they could have just followed him, and then Batman wouldn't be like in their clutches.
That's true. Well, the plan is going pretty good.
Yeah.
Robin updates Gordon on like what's going on.
Yeah, they're like tracking him in like one of the bat devices.
Yeah, everything seems to be going great. And then, I wonder if this is something I forgot about from the last episode.
Yeah.
The goons inside the truck are just like reading the prophecy of Anubis or something.
Yeah, I don't remember if that was the thing that they said in the last episode. It's very weird and kind of comes out of nowhere because it's also not in the recap.
Yeah.
Other than like there was like a big, they keep calling it a sphinx, but it looked like an Anubis statue. But it's basically like talks about like deception or whatever. So he takes like a big club, hits Bruce Wayne with it, like to like further like make sure that he's knocked out, and then they pull it off and reveal it's Batman.
Yeah.
But like doing that like breaks the tracking device if they mention it's in the cowl.
Yeah. Yeah, the prophecy was like something about a leopard changing its spots.
Yeah, I don't remember it all, but like it clearly could be revealed as like pertaining to like the scheme that Batman just did.
Yeah. And it's just so weird because this never comes back. Like this is the last mention of this prophecy. So strange. Anyway, they're on to Batman. They knocked him out.
And then, yeah, Robin has to try to figure out, because now they're not getting a signal anymore. He has to try to figure out where they were going. So they go to, like, their big lucite map. And they try to, like, oh, they were going in this direction. Robin's like, of course, the old Egyptian wing of the museum. I'm like, why wouldn't you think to go there first?
Batman and Nefertiti are placed in these giant jars.
Yeah, and they're getting, like, this pebble torture, where they're dropping, like, pebbles on their head one at a time. And apparently it's, like, making her go insane, and it's going to make Batman go insane, too. I'm like, I don't think this is an extremely effective measure of torture.
I mean, we could try it to you.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll report back.
If we start a Patreon, I feel like that's a good, like
a good video.
At, like, 200 patrons, we'll get we'll use this Egyptian pebble torture on Scott.
Where are we going to get a giant vase, though?
Listen, if we got 200 patrons,
we'll figure it
we can get a giant vase.
Well, if we get a Patreon, what did we have to call it? A Batreon?
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Alfred really figures out where King Tut's hideout is. And now that they know that Batman is kidnapped, Robin's like hesitant to get the cops involved.
Yeah.
He says they can be a bit heavy-handed, which, boy.
I wrote in my notes, Robin says ACAB.
Yeah. Pretty interesting what happens when he gets separated from Batman. Which
got me thinking. Because, like, this Batman and Robin are, like, deputized. Does that include Batman and Robin?
Whoa! I guess it does.
I guess. But they're the only ones I would trust. Or at least, especially Batman. Robin's still learning.
Yeah, there's very few fictional cops I give free passes to.
Yeah. And it's very specifically this version of Batman.
Yeah.
Regular Batman in the comics is a psychopath.
Oh, yeah, totally. So, Robin's like, all right, I gotta save him. And Alfred's like, well, how will you get there?
Yeah, because Robin's about to get in the Batmobile. He's like, well, you don't have a driver's license. So Alfred has to drive the Batmobile.
Yeah, he's getting his hands dirty, which we love.
I really like this version of Alfred. And, like, I like that he like, even if this didn't happen, like, he got involved in, like, his scheme up in the mansion, you know, like, getting Aunt Harriet out and then talking to that one guy and getting knocked out.
Yeah.
It's cool. And, like, I like that sometimes, like, he's, like, the one in the Batcave, like, relaying information to them.
Oh, yeah, if we didn't say that Outwood he ate was, like, an anti...
Yeah, it was like a Gas X pill.
Yeah. Which they've used before in the show.
Yeah, it's always just strange.
Where are we?
Yeah, so Robin and Alfred are on their way to the thing, and then we get a cut back, and we see Batman's a little farther along in his torture, and he and Nefertiti are singing a song. What were they singing?
They're singing the Alice in Wonderland version of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, where it's like, Twinkle Twinkle Little Bat.
Okay.
How I wonder what you're at, or whatever.
Yeah.
So King Tut, seeing that they're both insane from torture now, he releases them and has them dance for his amusement.
They play bat music, which is pretty cool because it's like a swing version of the Batman theme song.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Yeah. And we get the return of the Bat-Tusi here.
And this is, I think, probably the more famous, like, dance scene. Like, I definitely see this one shown around a lot more when people talk about how, like, ridiculous and stupid this show was. Like, that's, like, whenever they show that, like, I never really realized, like, it's, like, in an Egyptian-themed area. But, like, this is also a much more over-the-top ridiculous villain that Batman usually has. And I think part of that's because, like, this is one of the ones that's, like, created whole cloth for this show.
Yeah, this is pretty insane.
I mean, it's great, but, like, Batman reveals he's not crazy because he turns his dance into, like, a fight scene.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, which was really neat. And he was able to stay sane because he was reciting the multiplication tables backwards in his head.
Which is wild.
But, like, where did the multiplication tables end? Because you can just keep multiplying bigger and bigger numbers together.
That's true.
Was what I was thinking of when he said that. I was like, that's the crazier part.
Maybe Batman knows the final number.
That would be awesome. Oh, no, remember he said earlier there's several things he doesn't know.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Very, very...
humble.
Yeah, humble of him to admit that.
Yeah. Robin
joins the fight.
He doesn't just join. He just jumps in from off camera and just grabs a sword and starts attacking people.
Yeah, it's pretty
awesome.
Sweet.
This is one of the more fun, like, entrances in a while.
Yeah. And yeah, they, like, I guess they take care of his entire gang.
Yeah.
But King Tut gets away.
He gets away and steals the Batmobile. Like, he rough handles Alfred.
Yeah,
away.
They go outside.
So I guess Alfred didn't put on the anti-bat theft flip, like, change the buttons, because he just drives off.
Yeah, he does just drive off.
So then Batman and Robin get in, like, his gold-plated, like, truck, like, Egyptian truck, and start chasing the Batmobile in that.
Yeah. Alfred joins them.
Yeah.
And to be clear, Alfred is just, like, he's not wearing a mask like he sometimes does.
Yeah, he's just, Bruce Wayne's butler is just there.
Yeah, which has to be so suspicious, but...
Yeah. He just was in the driver's seat of the Batmobile.
Yeah, I guess
technically King Tut's never met him. He just was some guy just there.
Very true.
Some not bat-themed guy. Like...
So they're chasing King Tut, who, like, blasts them with some smoke screen.
Yeah.
Which prompts Batman to try to use a voice-controlled Batmobile relay circuit.
Yeah, to trigger the ejector seat to get him out of the Batmobile.
Yeah, basically, like, it would allow Batman to send a signal to the Batcave.
Yeah.
Which would then control the Batmobile.
Yeah, would override the Batmobile's controls. I guess he learned because, like, every villain keeps stealing the Batmobile.
Yeah, this is like
the third or fourth time. Because Riddler tried the first episode. I think, didn't he get it once?
He might have gotten it.
I think he got it once. I know Penguin did because he made it the Birdmobile. I think Falseface did.
Did it?
Batman was there was a chase and Batman was in a truck.
Yeah, but they were like following him through a movie.
Yeah, I don't think he got that one.
Like, yeah, because he had a truck. Because I remember he pulled the truck over and blasted out the back on a motorcycle.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And then, obviously, Falseface not Falseface, oh my god. King Tut gets it in this one.
Yeah. Joker might have gotten it
I think someone else got it for like a minute.
Yeah. But people love to steal this thing.
I mean, it's awesome. It's my, like I've said on the podcast, it's my favorite Batmobile. Like, it's such a cool car.
Hell yeah. But this relay circuit Batman's trying to use, it fails.
Yeah.
And Robin's like, how could it fail?
Batman's like, it's a machine made by man. This is an important lesson we must learn, that not everything we make is perfect.
Yeah.
Which is, I was like, all right, now we're getting back on track. That's the kind of silly Batman stuff I like.
Oh, hell yeah. So, before they have much time to lament their failure, King Tut just starts reversing and like reverses past them, and they're just like, what is he doing?
Yeah, but then the little like bat like laser gun comes out of the top. They're like, oh no,
yeah.
He found the button. How could he? It's like so clearly labeled.
So yeah, King Tut's gonna blow them up with the bat beam.
Yeah,
and the next part of this doesn't really get explained.
So I the way I took it, it was like, oh, things made by man don't work, like that thing.
Okay.
Like, it was either that or like, oh, now it moved back into whatever like range the Batcave needed to trigger the ejector sheet. Because instead of the death ray coming out, the ejector sheet goes out. He goes exploding out of the car, and like slams headfirst into the cab of the gold truck.
Yeah.
And rolls off, and they're just like, well, that was easy.
So yeah, that's what I was like, either it is a play on just like how like,
yeah, what I assume it was just what Batman was just telling Robin.
Yeah.
Which that could have been really dangerous if they were in charge of the Batmobile.
Truly.
Like at that moment.
Good thing it only breaks when the bad guys have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, back at police headquarters, they just have King Tut like sleeping on the couch.
I assume Batman and Robin probably just delivered him there, and they haven't like processed him yet. I thought, well, because it's a tight shot of him on like a couch, and they pulled it out. I thought it was gonna be like a therapy session. They just let him just be in costume.
Yeah,
because they just do that in this world when people are incarcerated and stuff.
You know,
I mean, it's cool.
That's that Warden's
Warden Crichton, yeah.
Yeah, his progressive ideas.
Yeah. But no, he's just in Commissioner Gordon's office because they don't have a proper police set, I'm sure.
Yeah, and they don't really know what to do with him. They say that the asylums are overcrowded and the taxpayers won't listen to their pleas
and give them more money.
Yeah. So Batman suggests the Wayne Foundation, and Chief O'Hara's like, oh, you think Bruce Wayne will want to help this guy? He kidnapped him?
Yeah.
And Batman says not to underestimate, the good that's in Bruce Wayne's heart.
Or whatever, yeah.
And then King Tut starts to wake up.
Yeah. And he's like, I gotta get to class.
Yeah.
And it's very Flintstones-esque where he got bonked on the head again and turned back into his normal form.
Yep. He's now Professor McElroy.
Yeah. I've got the full name. Oh my god, I got away from it. William Omaha McElroy. Oh my god, he's got like 40 aliases. Nabob of the Nile, Pharaoh of Rogues, Master of Thieves, Ruler of Darkness, Defender of Egypt, King of the Nile, Almighty Monarch, the Sun King, Nemesis of the Nile, Pharaoh of Felon. Ooh, I like that one.
So many aliases, so little time. Yeah, and he's back. I guess the King Tut persona's gone forever.
Yeah, no way it'll ever come back.
Yeah, what do you think happens to this guy?
I assume he's going to be in therapy for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
That he would.
I don't think, like, he would still be absolved of all of his crimes. He'd probably be able to get, like, off or, like, reduce sentences on a, like, insanity deal. But, I don't anticipate... I mean, I know for a fact he comes back multiple times. But, like, you know...
We're not supposed to cheat.
Yeah, well, just from osmosis, I know that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But, you know, whatever. What did you think of King Tut overall? Like, did you like him?
I did like him.
I think he's the right level of, like, hammy and goofy.
For sure.
I wish the story focused less on, like, the characters around him, and he got to do more stuff in it.
Yeah, he just kind of sits there a lot.
Yeah.
And then he does steal the Batmobile.
Which is cool.
And the mark of a great Batman villain, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't really...
I feel like there's potential for this character, and this wasn't a full realization of it.
Yeah, I do really like how he believes himself to be the King Tut, and that he believes Gotham is the...
Well, I like the way that he does it, because he believes he's the reincarnation and stuff, but, like, he still knows he was this other stuff before, and that Gotham, like, he's not actually in Egypt. Do you know what I mean? He just thinks that this is the new Thebes.
Yes.
And, like, that's, I don't know, it's, like, fun. And because you know it came from just, like, we have Egyptian-themed stuff, just make it an Egyptian-themed bad guy because it can save us on the budget. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, how would you rate his plan?
Man.
It's a little all over the place.
Why do you want Bruce Wayne so bad? Just to ransom?
I guess so.
Like, because Bruce Wayne's not like he kidnapped the mayor, was like, make me king of the city, relinquish your power to me, or whatever.
And then he just, like, kept going back to the Bruce Wayne well.
Because, like, the first episode, he was, like, doing that thing with the giant statue, like, your king is returned, and then he was pretending to be a mummy, and then, like, oh man, someone really did get resurrected, and then they completely never touch on that in this.
Yeah. It's, like, almost... This is probably the best episode to have, like, a long break before, because it feels so disconnected.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I kind of want to go with the one, just because it doesn't make any sense. He didn't really put Batman and Robin in any peril.
Yeah.
He didn't really, like, pull off any schemes. The only reason Bruce Wayne escaped the first half is just their incompetence. They didn't lock that back door.
And I guess they didn't close it correctly either.
Yeah, like, they didn't lock down the gurney because he's just rattling around in the back there, like, before that happened.
Yeah. I would give King Tut a 1. And that's not to say I don't like him, but his plan was just, like,
yeah, that's why I wanted to be like, I like King Tut first. I want to see more of him. But, like, these are separate kind of things we're reading, because, again, we're trying to figure out who's the most dangerous villain from this era. And, like, who's this Batman's potential, like, biggest nemesis.
Yeah. And, honestly, King Tut had more goons than all of them.
Yeah.
But, like, never really felt like he had Batman on the ropes.
Yeah.
Even when he was his prisoner.
Yeah, Batman was, like, kind of in charge that whole time.
Yeah. So, that's that for the Pharaohs in a Rut.
Yeah, I don't know. Overall, it was fun. I'm not going to say it was great, but...
I had fun.
I had fun. I think there was better episodes, but I think there was worse.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for this episode of Batcast 66.
Yeah.
Join us next week or the week after whatever we do.
Yeah, we're gonna do these. I'll probably finish up this season as a
bi-weekly.
A bi-weekly release.
Cool. Then come see us in 2 weeks. And we have a fun one. Do we say who's next? Have we been doing that?
This episode didn't. Sometimes they do.
Yeah, so weird. Well, we'll see you next time. It'll be a surprise.
Yeah. Same Batcast time, same Batcast channel.
Good night.